Hello and welcome back to the FPL Tom YouTube channel. In today's video we're going to be covering the best Game Week 7 wildcard. If you've activated your wildcard and you're looking to change up your team, then this is the perfect guide for you. It'll massively help you boost your rank and help you gain places within your mini league. If you do enjoy the content that you see on the channel, please like, comment and subscribe, as we are trying to hit 750 subs before the end of September. But yeah, that's enough waffle from me. Let's get into our Game Week 7 wildcard draft. And to start our Game Week 7 wildcard, we have Dean Henderson in goal, currently the third highest scoring within FPL at the moment. That is down to 2 penalty saves pretty much, but Forest have some amazing fixtures coming up. Leeds, Fulham, Leicester, Aston Villa, Wolves, Brighton, and then it does take a turn, Liverpool and Arsenal after that. But some really good fixtures coming up for Dean Henderson. Obviously, Forest don't have the best defence. They actually are the worst defence in the league for XG goals conceded, but that's could work in Dean Henderson's favour, as he's going to get a lot of save opportunities, earning himself some save points, boosting himself up into the bonus points. I do think there'll have to be kind of a change from Forest if they want to stay in the league this season, and over the next kind of 6 to 7 game weeks they've got some really good fixtures where they need to be picking up points and picking up clean sheets, as they've only had one so far. If I was doing this draft a little bit later, say game week 9, I would be looking at maybe bringing in Pope or Gaeta from Crystal Palace. But at the moment in Game Week 7, to take advantage of the good kind of next 2-3 fixtures, we've gone with Dean Henderson. Moving on into the back line, we have Trent Alexander-Arnold. Now, he is currently the 12th highest scoring defender within the game, which isn't bad, but considering he's the most expensive, isn't great. But there's a caveat to that. If Trent had played that extra 90 whatever seconds and got himself that clean sheet points against Everton, he would be the joint third best scoring defender in the league. 1 goal, 1 assist so far. Obviously, he had that haul against Bournemouth where he scored that absolutely sensational screamer. Liverpool's fixtures over kind of the next 10 or so game weeks are a little bit tricky. Wolves, Chelsea, Brighton, Arsenal, Man City, West Ham, Nottingham Forest, Leeds and Tottenham. I think if we don't see positive signs from Liverpool within the next few game weeks, I'm very tempted to kind of remove Liverpool assets. They haven't started the season well, haven't looked great defensively. Trent's been a huge liability at the back as well, but his kind of attacking returns are making up for that, and due to his high ownership, I just don't think you can go without him yet. Obviously, the kind of the fixtures aren't there for Liverpool, but it's Trent, man, and he can just have a game like he did against Bournemouth where he wasn't the best defensively. Like, before his goal, he actually gives the ball away and then goes and just absolutely spanks it in the top corner. Like, it's unreal, some of the stuff that man can do going forward. So I think that's why you've got to have him in your team. High ownership as well, so makes sense. Moving on to the next defender within our team, it is Reece James. Again, another team struggling at the start of this season, Chelsea. Struggling for consistency and clean sheets. But there are some positive signs with Reece James. With Wesley Fofana signing, it does look like Reece James is going to move or revert back to the right wing-back spot. And that is where all his attacking returns have come from this season. 1 goal, 1 assist, and has the second best expected assists among defenders. Obviously, on set plays as well, which is a huge advantage. And Chelsea's fixtures are amazing till the World Cup. Pretty much Fulham, Liverpool, Crystal Palace, Wolves, Aston Villa, Brentford, Man United, Brighton, Arsenal, Newcastle, and then Bournemouth in game week 17. So amazing fixtures. But like I said, it is that consistency within the Chelsea backline. Currently 9th for expected goals conceded, which is not where a top team like Chelsea should be. But with these good fixtures coming up, we do need to look to take advantage of that. And Reece James is a must pick for me over the next kind of 10 or so game weeks. Moving on to our next defender is a man who started very well this season. It is Kieran Trippier, currently the 2nd highest scoring defender within FPL. Good long-term fixtures for Newcastle as well coming up. West Ham, Bournemouth, Fulham, Brentford, Man United, Everton, Tottenham, Aston Villa and Southampton. Currently had the most attempted assists within the Premier League, only behind Trent Alexander-Arnold. He's on free kicks, he's on corners, which massively helps him out in terms of bonus points as well, because if he's getting them accurate crosses in, it just breaks the metrics for some reason. So absolutely killer. Newcastle have looked very good as well, going defensively and going forward, to be honest. Obviously, when St. Maximin and the gang come back, they definitely could be options going forward as well. But I've gone with Kieran Trippier. I also like Nick Pope as a choice, but I think Kieran Trippier does just have that little bit more of an attacking potential. Obviously, like we said, on set plays and doing all the good stuff that he is. Moving on to our final defender, it is João Cancelo, currently the highest scoring defender within FPL with 33 points. City are the best defence in the league. There's no denying that. You can see it in the games. You can see it in the data as well. Best kind of expected goals conceded. A little bit of a mixed run coming up for City. Obviously, they had an amazing run at the start of the season, but now it's kind of just a little bit patchy. Tottenham, Wolves, Manchester United, Southampton, Liverpool, Arsenal, Brighton, Leicester and Fulham. So as you can see, it's not great. With Champions League football coming back as well, there is potentially an argument to maybe Cancelo could start to get rotated. I don't think he's going to be one of them players. I think what's more likely to happen with Cancelo is he's potentially going to go off early in games, which again is a little bit of a concern because we don't want him going off in like the 70th minute, not the 70th minute, the 59th minute, and not getting our clean sheet points. That would be absolutely devastating. Something that is a little bit of a concern for me with Cancelo is his underlying data is very smelly, like, you know, the bin's kind of smelly. 0.1 XG and 0.29 expected assists. It's not great, is it? Especially when he's kind of, you know, we're paying this premium price for him. We want him to get attacking returns as well as them clean sheets. And when he's putting up underlying data like that, very smelly. We don't want that within our team. So that is a little bit of a concern going forward. But yeah, that was the defence. Let's move on to the midfield within our side. Martinelli starts off our midfield. I really like Martinelli as a pick for kind of the next 2 game weeks. So very much a short-sighted pick. I want to take advantage of the Everton and Brentford fixtures. Everton at home is a wonderful, wonderful fixture for Gabriel Martinelli. He's currently Arsenal's highest scoring player. 3 goals, 1 assist with 36 points. Should have had a goal yesterday against Manchester United as well, which was wrongly ruled out, in my opinion, by VAR. So could have been even higher up that list. Martinelli is also 4th highest among midfielders for projected points this week, and at 6.5 million, I just don't think you can go wrong for the next 2 weeks. After that, I would be looking to move him out as they play Tottenham, Liverpool, Leeds, Manchester City, Southampton and Nottingham Forest. So after that, fixtures do start to turn for Arsenal, and I would be looking at other options. I think Zaha is going to be a fantastic option with Crystal Palace's fixtures turning as well. So there's definitely other options around that price point. Moving on, it is Mohamed Salah. A little bit of a difficult one, this. Obviously, he's been a staple of everyone's FPL teams for over like years now. Absolute years. But it has been a disappointing start to the season for Liverpool and Mohamed Salah. 2 goals, 3 assists. Players who've got more points than him: Tony, Gross, Rashford and McAllister. So I think, you know, that kind of sums up where he's at the moment. These players are obviously starting the season very, very well, but he's usually up there, and he's just not at the moment. So far, he's had 17 shots with only 5 on target. Currently, Salah is getting less touches on the ball, more of them out wide, and having less shots per 90 than last season. So I definitely think with Liverpool's tricky fixtures coming up, there is an argument to suggest potentially dropping Mohamed Salah. I'm thinking about it. I'm going to wildcard in game week 9. He's got the next 2 kind of game weeks to prove himself to me, maybe improve his underlying data to kind of keep himself within my team. But I definitely think there's an argument. At 30 million, he's just not performing at the moment, and I do think there is an argument that you potentially could go without him. Obviously, it's a big gamble, and I think the people that take that gamble are either going to do really well this season, they're going to absolutely shoot up the ranks because they can distribute that money better within their side, or it could be a massive L and Salah just absolutely kills them. That's kind of the way it's going. So I'm going to wait for the next 2 weeks to kind of see what I'm going to do with Mohamed Salah. At the moment, I've included him on this draft. I really like the Wolves fixture. Chelsea, again, haven't looked amazing at the back. But Brighton, Arsenal and Manchester City, the 3 after, is a very, very difficult run that I don't really fancy Salah to do much in. But yeah, let me know what your plans are for Salah down in the comments below. Moving on to our final midfielder, it is James Maddison. Again, this one is... he's not started the season well. There's more in the kind of the fixtures, the long-term fixtures that I would be looking to take advantage of rather than his form. 2 goals, 1 assist in 4 games so far. Had a very, very dismal game against Brighton, just giving the ball away, so sloppy. You could see his teammates were so frustrated with him. But a huge, huge game coming up for Villa in Game Week 7. Aston Villa, another team who haven't started well. This could be the game where one of the managers gets sacked. I said this yesterday in the transfer target video. I stand by it because I think either manager loses this, they're gone. Obviously, pressure is building on Brendan Rodgers at the moment, as is Steven Gerrard, so it's an all-to-play-for game. Depends if the Leicester players want to down tools. They've had enough of Brendan, and they get kind of a new manager bounce, which would be amazing with the fixtures coming up after kind of Game Week 8. Nottingham Forest, Bournemouth, Crystal Palace, Leeds and Wolves. If they can get that new manager bounce and Maddison can get back to the form that he was showing last season, could be an absolutely worldy of a pick. Obviously, we know about his talents, his free kick ability, but I think he is kind of this key danger man for Leicester. I think Vardy's kind of fell off a little bit. Age is kind of starting to catch up with him, which is something I never ever thought I'd say, but it does look that way. And Maddison is kind of taking the mantle as the key Leicester kind of player that we need to have within our team. So like I said, this one's purely based on fixtures over form, so do take it with a pinch of salt. Don't think I've just included him because he's amazing. He isn't. Nor a Leicester at the moment. This is purely down to the fact that the fixtures are amazing for Leicester, and I do think we do need to take advantage of them, especially if they get that new manager bounce. But let's move on to the forwards within our side. Moving on to the front line, we start with Erling Haaland. The man absolutely is breaking FPL at the moment. 10 goals, 1 assist in his first 6 games, 67 points. That's honestly absolutely unreal from the big Nordic meat shield that he is. Just absolutely fantastic. Highest projected points as well over the next 5 game weeks. But the big concern with Haaland is kind of his minutes, his rotation risk, because he's playing for Pep, and we all know that. But I think he's just unreal. He's proven that at the moment. The stats that he's putting up is just honestly mesmerising. He's a beautiful player to watch, and I do fancy him to score in every single game. Obviously, as we went through with Cancelo, City's fixtures do start to become patchy. As well with Champions League football, there is going to be risk of rotation, but I just think Haaland is too good not to have. I think even if he just plays a half of football, he's still going to come away with an attacking return. I think he's a captaincy option every single week, just down to the fact that he's so good. If they can find him, he will score. Like, honestly, he's that good at football at the moment. I think he's a must-have in everyone's team. I think you've just got to have him. Take the rotation risk with it, and just kind of everyone's going to be within that same boat, and just hope you haven't got him on captain for that week. But yeah, really like Haaland as a pick. Like, you just can't go wrong with him. I think he's gone up to 12 million now as well, which is honestly absolutely unreal. Moving on to a forward as prolific as Haaland.
I don't know. I think that's a bit dodgy, mate.
Is Dominic Solanke. Now, Dominic Solanke has only got 1 goal and 1 assist so far, but the Bournemouth fixtures are absolutely amazing up until the World Cup. Brighton, Newcastle, Brentford, Fulham, Southampton, West Ham, Tottenham, Leeds and Everton. Amazing fixtures at 5.7 million as well. I know a lot of people are looking to kind of get on the free forward train. I've been on it for a few weeks. It's honestly absolutely amazing. I think if you wanted to drop Salah down as well to potentially a Diaz and cover Liverpool off in that way, then you could get yourself a Mitrovic, which is another fantastic option to have up front. They've also got really good fixtures, but I like Dominic Solanke at 5.7 million. Bournemouth are going to have a new manager bounce. They got really good fixtures coming up, and he takes penalties as well. At 5.7 million, he is their talismanic figure, and I really like that within him. Not 100% convinced on his ability within the Premier League, as that was his only 5th ever Premier League goal that he scored at the weekend, and he's played like 4 seasons within the Prem, so not great. Hasn't got the pedigree, but over the next kind of 10 or so game weeks, the fixtures are unbelievable, and at 5.7 million, if you can't get yourself a Mitrovic, I think Dominic Solanke is the next best thing. And to finish off our squad, it is a man who I've been getting pretty wet about recently. That's just a bit wrong, but yeah, it is Tony, my FPL hero. Amazing game week last week with his hat-trick. One of the best hat-tricks, I think, outside of kind of your top players. The penalty, one step, the free kick, unreal, and then the composure for the third goal, absolutely wonderful. Currently the second highest scoring player within the game, 5 goals, 2 assists, 45 points scored. I really like Brentford's fixtures coming up as well. Southampton, Arsenal, Bournemouth, Newcastle, Brighton, Chelsea, Aston Villa, Wolves and Nottingham Forest. I think he's playable through the Arsenal and Chelsea games as well, just down to the fact that he's on penalties. I really like Ivan Toney as a pick. There's also talk of him potentially getting an England call-up, which would be absolutely huge for him. Obviously, the internationals are quite soon. I think they're the back end of September. England squad hasn't been announced yet, so it would be interesting to see if he can continue this form and earn himself a place within Gareth Southgate's side. So yeah, that was the 11. Let's quickly run through the bench. We've got Danny Ward in goal. Yeah, at this point, I'm really considering anyone else other than Danny Ward. He's absolutely dreadful. Then we've got Wesley Fofana, a pick I very much like, 4.4 million at the moment. Like we mentioned earlier with Reece James, amazing long-term fixtures for Chelsea. To have the double up for some of these games would be absolutely massive, especially if they can sort out their defensive issues. Andreas as well, Fulham, really good fixtures for the long term. He's been putting up some really good data as well. So at 4.6 million, very good. And then the final midfielder is Billy Gilmour for Brighton. I think you could just go for anyone. I had to go for a 4.4, but if you've got the budget to stretch for a 4.5, there are plenty of options emerging. So that third midfield slot, just go for whoever you want. I've gone for Gilmour, as I do think he'll start to be embedded within Graham Potter's side. So that was today's video, our Game Week 7 wildcard draft. Let me know what you think of it down in the comments. Let me know, have I considered you to take any punts on any of these players? If you do have any questions related to FPL, do leave them down in the comments below, as I do answer all questions down there. Thank you very much for watching and enjoy the rest of your day.